every single day I had the choice to move closer to my healthier dreams or further away from my healthier dreams. That is the key and the thing that really is the most important thing to take away. Realizing that every single moment you're moving closer to your healthier self or further away from your healthier self. Hello, you wonderful, positive people. I know you're having a wonderful day. Over the last year and a half, almost 2 years, I've been able to completely retransform my body, almost to the point of being this 17, 18-year-old version of myself. When I say that because I weigh exactly what I did my senior year of football. I'm down to 255 pounds, coming down from 265, even over 400 pounds at my heaviest. One of the things people ask me constantly is, Chris, how did you lose the weight? How did you lose 100 pounds plus? In reality, it's well over 100 pounds. I really don't want to even imagine the calculation, think back to the heaviest point in time. It really isn't worth it because in some ways, it's really embarrassing when you think back to who you used to be from where you are today. And I think ultimately, that's the thing that you really have to look for. If you want to make significant changes in your life, you want to lose weight, you want to get into the best shape of your life, whatever age you are, you've got to look at what you're doing today and realize today is the culmination of everything you've done over the past. All of your thoughts, your activities, everything you ate, desired, and wanted is sitting in this physical self that is yourself. If you're overweight, underweight, exactly whatever it is, think about it like that. So first and foremost, I had to really look at my life, evaluate who I was, where I was, and what I was doing. So essentially, I had to kind of take my life apart and kind of really understand what I was doing wrong. And it really wasn't that hard when I looked at it because I had to first look at where I wanted my life to go. Every single day, I had the choice to move closer to my healthier dreams or further away from my healthier dreams. That is the key and the thing that really is the most important thing to take away. Realizing that every single moment you're moving closer to your healthier self or further away from your healthier self. So once I took that into account, I realized that every single action that I took was taking me closer to my health or further away from my health. So that really transformed the way I thought about what health was, what I was doing, and how I was living my life. So in order to transform my healthier self, I really need to look at what I was doing on a daily basis. I need to start working on transforming my life. And once I took the time to think about it from the perspective that I was either getting healthier or I was getting unhealthier, with every single action, I started looking at actions from the moment I woke up. Now, for most people, this sounds extreme, this sounds very difficult. And it is, it's hard, it's not something that's easy. And I'm not going to lie to you, it wasn't something that I woke up and I lost 100 pounds overnight. It took me a year and a half, almost 2 years. Over the last year alone, it's only been 50 pounds. Maybe 50 pounds before that. But the reality is, it takes the time and effort to transform who you are at the core of your person. When I say transform who you are at the core of your person, I mean simple thoughts and behaviors that who you were yesterday can no longer exist going forward. I'll share one thought, one behavior that I needed to change about myself that was kind of a self-vision and a self-prophecy that came to be true. One of the things I did as a teenager on to my early 20s was play football. And one of the things that a lot of football players jokingly said was, I play football so that I don't have to worry about eating and worry about my health. I play football and stay in shape playing football so I don't have to worry about eating. Well, what happens when you stop playing football? What happens when you stop training for that sport you love to train for? If you don't change your eating habits, you start getting unhealthy. It's just that simple. Well, for me, it started before I stopped playing football. I tricked myself into the psychology that even though I was playing football, I can eat and do exactly what I wanted. The reality is, I couldn't do what everyone else was doing. I couldn't party my life away and drink and eat and all the wonderful, crazy things that most people think they can do when you're playing football and doing these wonderful things. In fact, what I was doing was digging myself into a hole that really took me a whole shift in psychology to get out of. And what do I mean by this? I mean, the hole was a whole massive weight of a person that was I carried around every single day as if it was a reward for all of the cool things that I had done and experienced in life. I had lived a lot of parties, I drank a lot of beer, I had a lot of fun stories to tell. But you know what I wasn't going to have? A long life to tell after that point in time when I decided to change what I was doing. And that's the crazy thing that really I think we all need to really understand is that I was approaching 40, and I'm one of those people that always looks for evidence about where I can go and what I can do in life. So for me, when college didn't work out for me, when I actually failed out of college and had to kind of reinvent my life and start a new plan going forward, one of the first things I did was look for evidence that I could still be successful. So I found people that were like me, that had achieved success in spite of not having a college degree, and I mimicked my career after things they did to achieve success. So that's something that I was already familiar with, and I was already understanding that if I could mimic my life like others, that I could achieve the success others had in whatever way I wanted for myself. Now, I didn't try and do things others did. I just looked for evidence that it was possible, and I allowed my dream to take flight. One of the things that I started to look for, the evidence, was where was I going to go in life at 40 and beyond? And the evidence was quite scary. The evidence that most people in the 40s and early 40s didn't make it to 50. Especially that people that were overweight, that were in the life bracket and lifestyle that I was in. One of the things that really hit home was when I thought about someone I used to work with that I often, a few years ago, I had beers with after work every so often. And this person passed away, and it hit home. And then I thought about some of my heroes from my childhood. One of those heroes was Reggie White. Reggie White was one of those football players, those once-in-a-generation football players that could do things that most other football players of his era just didn't do. And for me, as a kid that grew up in the 90s, watching the Minister of Defense take the football field and use his famous hump move and toss people across the field is something that I mimicked my football career after. I had a move that was very similar when I played in college football that would knock people over. I called it the club. It was a fun move. But later on in life, I looked at his life and I was watching and realized that it was around 40 or shortly after 40, and I apologize if I don't remember the age, but he passed away, and it hit home. And around this time last year, there were several passings that happened, and it hit home in a way that I just couldn't continue the road that I was on. I realized in that moment I was either going to be in the grave or I was going to be standing here today to tell you how I changed my life. And it was in those moments that I looked at the very moments that I was living at that point in time. I realized that every single moment I was moving closer to the health I wanted, or in that moment it suddenly occurred that I was moving closer to the grave. And for me, that moment was the day I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. It hit home because it was something that was in my family. It was something that genetically was predisposed to. I knew it was there. I ignored it. I still carried on. I can tell you, 100 pounds later, I'm a completely different person. I can tell you that when I wake up in the morning, the food that I crave, the actions that I take, the way that I approach and live my life is completely different. It's not about eating one little thing differently. It's not about changing one little thing. It's complete habit change. It's complete transformation. When I say complete transformation, you've got to realize that every moment of your life, you're moving closer to something or further away from something. The sad reality is we just don't think about it. We aren't looking at the moments, the little individual pieces of time that we could be making decisions that push us closer to where we want to be or further away from where we don't want to be. In some cases, that is still a destination that we're going and we just don't realize it. So I encourage you, whatever that change is, for me it was weight loss. And along the road I discovered there are so many other things that I need to discover and investigate about myself to help grow and become a better person accordingly. I encourage you, find and do those same things for yourself. Trust me, you have the power, the ability, the potential to dig deep and change whatever it is you're looking for. So if you're looking to find that inner being, that inner connection to the weight loss goals that you have, define the transformation. For me, it was about visualizing what I wanted to look like, how I wanted to feel, and the things that I wanted to do. For example, I loved mountain biking as a kid. I tried mountain biking in my mid-30s, didn't work out all that well 100 pounds ago. Well, guess what? I'm tearing trails up for a 40-year-old man that hasn't ridden probably 20 years, maybe 25. But guess what? It feels good to get back out there. It feels good to reestablish my health in a way that I did as a child. These days, I view my body as a toy that I get to play with every single day. Yes, 40, I'm sore. 40, I feel it. And you know what? I love every moment of it. Why? Because I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to use this wonderful vessel as a tool for fun and enjoyment. And the best part is, I've got 4-year-old kids that want to do the things that I'm doing. They want to go out and ride mountain bikes. They want to go out running. They want to go out and do the things and explore and look at the trails that me and their mother go out and ride together. Because in our house, fitness and that fitness lifestyle is a lifestyle that we're teaching our children. Because they need to understand that it's not something that you do in the gym. It's a lifestyle. Being fit and being healthy isn't something that you try and do. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life that takes a thought process from the moment you wake up to the moment you lay down, and making decisions along the way that get you into the habit of lifestyle, fitness, and getting yourself down that road. So I encourage you I'm here to remind you, I'm always standing. You're always standing. We are always standing in the footsteps of greatness. It's up to us to realize that those footsteps are always going forward. The reality is sometimes we diverge from the path that we could be on. We diverge from the path that's taking us to the greatness that's waiting for us down the road. And we start diverging down the road to the failures that we don't want. Why? Because we think it's easy. But the reality is, it's really hard to say goodbye to loved ones and watch them grieve while you're in an unhealthy state. But it's also really hard to get up in the morning and get on your bike. It's really hard to get up in the morning and eat the right food for your body. But guess what? Which would you rather have in the end? Which decision can you sleep with? Can you sleep with a healthy decision, or can you sleep with an unhealthy life? Because for me, the decision was simple. I could only sleep with the healthy decision that gave me the prolonged life that I needed to have to achieve the goals that I had in life. Because the person that I was a year ago made decision after decision, time after time, moment after moment, that was pushing myself closer to the grave. I will never be that person again. I will only be the person that makes decisions pushing me to the most robust, lovely, healthy, happy, loving life that I can share and provide abundance for my family and share that abundance with the world. So remember, stand in the footsteps of greatness. You're a wonderful, powerful, positive person. Continue walking the road of realizing your dreams. continue living the greatness that's in your heart and sharing it with the world. I encourage you, find the best version of yourself. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe, follow the channel, get in contact with us because we want you to live the road to realizing your dream because you're standing in the footsteps of greatness. You may not realize it, but greatness is calling your name. All you have to do is answer back and listen. Go ahead. Have a wonderful day. Keep doing those wonderful, positive, powerful things. Have a good one.